Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Full-Time Sports Network's Cop Talk. Only place to be on a Thursday night at 10 o'clock. You know where it is. It's right here. Yes. And I must say good evening to my fellow comrades in pain. Good evening, Mr. Preds. How we doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate.
You sounded like we was at the Formula One.
I wish the season would go right now. I'm telling you.
Stoney, my brother, how are we doing? Good evening.
Yeah, I'm good. I think these last few performances have allowed me just to remain rational and take the season as a whole and not as individual games. But yeah, I'm good. I'm just looking forward to this evening's show.
Okay. Just before we start, lads, I want to remind everybody that we are sponsored by Global Mapping Surveys, and Global Mapping Surveys currently assist architects, property developers, construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services, such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D lasering scanning, monitoring, and it's all about www.globalmappingsurveys.co.uk. And if you mention Cop Talk, you will definitely get your discount. Gents, we've only just started. I think what's it say, 1 minute 52, and we got trolls on our case already, lads. We've got the trolls in already.
I got to be honest,
James. Man United fan, he's on us. So he's on us, lads. He is on us. He was asking actually to come back on the show to get revenge.
That's funny.
After his last appearance. Look, he's got some Spanish flags up there. I hope someone in your family's Spanish, James, for all them flags, mate. Yeah, I tell ya. Billy Smith. Good evening, gents. Happy to see your upset faces. He said, after all the abuse, I've come for payback. Okay. Good on you, James. You give it to them.
You keep watching, mate. You keep watching.
In Spain. Billy, don't worry, because couple of weeks' time, we have got the old Chelsea. So we will have Billy back on. Don't worry. We'll have the chance to come back on and have his say. It was a pleasure having him on last time, and we will definitely have him on again. How was the rain in Spain? It was wet.
Yeah, mate.
How's that? Yeah, it was wet. Anyway, gentlemen, where do we begin? My gosh.
My mood represents the mood, my lighting. That's how I feel.
All right. So I'll tell you what we are going to do. We won't skip anything. What we will do is we'll give a quick 20 minutes or so to Bournemouth first and foremost.
Yeah.
Then we'll move on to Real Madrid. But what I am going to ask with Bournemouth is, after beating Man U 7-0, yeah, James, did you hear that? After whooping Man United and hitting the history books, beating them 7-0, did Liverpool think they just had to turn up against Bournemouth?
It was just a lack of quality, which was needed, and I was always gleeful and celebrating madly because we won and beat Man United 7-0. I was always weary about the next game, and they only proved me right, because you can't win in such fashion and then go to a team, all due respect to Bournemouth, are fighting for their lives, and you've got to win. And the performance and the result just kind of summed up our season, really.
What do you say, Stoney? Did we think we just had to turn up?
I can only mirror image what Preds was just said as well. I think it was one of those. I think, it's quite hard thinking that the players thought they can just actually turn up to get a result, because then for me, and I'm only speaking about me as an individual, then I'm almost probably questioning the professionalism of our players, and that's the last thing I actually want to do. The thing that I'm a little bit mystified is how on earth were we able to raise our game to that level to play against Manchester United and then put in a complete lackluster performance against Bournemouth. That's the thing that I'm scratching my head about. I think I've kind of looked on it in a few parts, right? I know our club's obviously shown we're capable of doing that because we have not been good this season. And Bournemouth's previous games, I think they didn't actually have. They actually had a good performance against Arsenal and actually had a good performance against Newcastle. So in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, well, were Bournemouth's performances really gearing up to beating us, or was it we were always going to lose anyway? I really don't know. And I've got those contrasting thoughts about this. But bearing in mind, right, if you think about the Bournemouth game, we lost, performance wasn't any good. However, Virgil had the header, Salah had a penalty. It could have been also different. So our performance still would not have been great, but we could possibly have still come out with a victory. The reality is we didn't. So not good. Not good at all. Not good.
Not good. I think you're putting it very nicely, man. Very nicely indeed.
I'm trying to think if there was any positives from it. Was there any positives? I think Melo managed to make it onto the bench. That means that he may be able to play. That means that he may be able to play 1 minute before the end of the season. What did we start? We started with.
We started with the same team, bar Stefan.
Yeah, so it would have been
Yeah.
Harvey. I mean, it would have been Fabinho with obviously Stefan and Harvey Elliott in the middle of the park. So I mean, team wise, I know it was an early game, right? But team wise, when I looked at the team, I thought, okay, we're fine. But yeah, right when it started, it almost seems as if it was an end of Liverpool, by the way. It almost seemed as if we was playing an end of season pre-season friendly, and there was nothing. There was no points at stake. It was players are just warming down for the end of the season. Yeah, it was just disheartening, as he said. Absolutely disheartening performance.
What is it about 12:30 kickoffs, man?
Well, I mean, the thing is, even that other teams have to play at that time, and they seem to be able to get results. And Liverpool have been in a Premiership for how long? And there's been kickoffs at 12:30. So are we questioning the players? Are we questioning Klopp? Are we questioning our coaching staff where mentally or whatever they're not in the right place? That's another game away from home that we've played and we've dropped points. I mean, I'm sure there's been, don't quote me on this, right? Because I have absolutely no idea by the way in this, right, RT. I'm sure we've played early games at Anfield and we've got a result. So what is it about the
other question, to be fair?
Yeah, what is it about the away games at the early games that we're not getting it? As I said, I have no idea about what the results would be if it was the early games at Anfield. Maybe someone in the comments can probably enlighten us.
What I was gonna actually say was then, like, what was the main differences for you with the performance, and is it that we can only play at home at the moment? Because these 12:30 kickoffs this season have not done us any favors whatsoever. We've not been doing well with them at all. But we seem to be able to perform at home, but on the road we're atrocious.
And that's what I'm saying. Is that's what I'm saying. Then it probably goes back to how the team's actually being managed and all of the planning in terms of us traveling away to actually play fixtures. If we're showing consistently we can't put a good performances or get results away from home, especially the early fixtures, then we have to look at how we're being coached and how all of our planning and preparation leading up to that is actually happening. It's a concern. It is.
I don't question the planning and preparation, because there's only so much that management can do. I mean, you build up to the game, you do your work on the training pitch, you do your work and your analysis work and your team meetings. So you're putting the responsibility now onto the players. Now, if the players cross that white line and are unable to transfer what Klopp wants or what the management want, but the thing is, it looks really dour. Like we're powder puff at the moment. No quality. We had chances against Bournemouth, but they weren't like gilt-edged chances. They weren't like keepers had to pull off an absolute weldy. They were all comfortable saves. So I put it down to the attitude and mindsets of the players. Like, we can say confidence, But we played a long, hard season. Everyone knows you're going to be playing away games. Everyone knows you're going to be playing at half 12. So you've got a responsibility as players to get yourself up for it.
All right, Prince. You said they weren't gilt-edged chances. The header that Van Dijk put wide, gilt-edged chance, and talk to me about the penalty. Come on.
Well, yeah. Well, the header, the header was it just wide, or did they head? Did
No,
they?
he put one just wide of the post.
Post, yeah.
Yeah,
just wide of the post.
I mean, like we know we've said about football before. Like it's full of fine margins, and if it's half a centimeter to the right of the post, then and that goes in, then we could be sitting there saying, well, you know what, it was another great performance because we would have been on the crest of a wave from the confidence. And I honestly thought, you know what, from that confident performance against Man United, I thought, right, this is it now. Like, just build on it, and we didn't. And Salah's penalty, well, I think he ended up on Bournemouth Beach. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He says that Salah was still aiming for the goal at Old Trafford with that pen. James says, what? Legend says the ball's still in the air.
It was an awful pen, awful. I've seen him smash him down the middle, but like, I just didn't know. I don't know, mate. It makes no relevance whatsoever now. But hey ho.
Yeah, not good. Not good. I'll
tell you what did surprise me. Bournemouth played somebody new in the middle of the park. It's Gary O'Neill, isn't it? Bournemouth's new manager.
Yeah.
He played. I've never seen him before, and I'm as I said, I'm not given the impression that I've been watching all of Bournemouth's performances diligently, but with Fabinho, Elliott, and Stefan in the middle of the park, they played a new player, Bournemouth in the middle of the park, Rothwell. I don't know. He was a really, really, really tidy player. It was Billings that ended up scoring a goal. It was a strange thing. I support Liverpool. I'm meant to be focused on Liverpool's performances. And all I could be seeing was Rothwell, this player that I haven't really heard of much at Bournemouth, absolutely dictating the game. I was in disbelief. And Billings actually played like what's that player that used to play for Man United that David Moyes bought with, and he had Fellaini. Billings was bullying us like if Fellaini was on the pitch. All I kept thinking was, goodness gracious, come on, please do something about it. Even Solanke actually ended up having a good Solanke ended up having a good game against us on Saturday. And it's like I'm thinking, how on earth have we come to this? But yeah, bizarre.
So do you think that it was Bournemouth's hunger of fighting that relegation battle? That they had that more passion, more desire?
Artie, for me, this should be a collective, because yes, Bournemouth are obviously fighting because they're down at the bottom of the table and they're almost fighting for the survival. But we're also fighting to actually attempt to get back into Europe. We had the opportunity there of, if we were successful with our next two games, actually being quite close to actually reaching, as close as you can to that 4th point position for the Champions League. These players still must be actually playing for something. I don't want to believe that they're actually down their tools and that we're actually going through the motions. But as I said, we just didn't appear to be playing with much purpose against Bournemouth. And as you said, that's the thing that constantly clouds my mind and my judgment for that as well. We had players obviously coming back with Jota managed to play as well. And I said, Arthur Melo was on the bench and Bobby came back on, and you probably thought even that might give us a little spark or urgency, but it just didn't seem there.
It was just, you know what, mate? It was just not good enough. Like the what we're playing for and what Liverpool Football Club is, let alone those players, they must know that you need to perform at 9s and 10s every week. Not because Liverpool, that shirt demands it.
Yeah.
That badge demands you play 7, 8, 9s, and if you're not playing a good game, you work hard. All right, and for Liverpool to go and play against Bournemouth, who all they done was had legs, they were energetic, had a little bit of quality around you. You had the lad you were talking about done really, really well. But then you got to think, were they better man for man? Were they better players than Liverpool? No, but collectively they worked. They worked
collectively, and they definitely worked harder than us, mate. Definitely.
And we showed absolutely no quality in the final third.
Sam Billings look like a boss, man.
Exactly.
Oh, that hurts me, man.
Hurts, mate. And the thing is, the goal came off his shin.
Oh.
It doesn't matter where it goes in as long as the ball goes in the net. But it's like, it's come off his shin and all sorts. You know what I mean? It's like, and plus VVD got, he got stop.
Yeah. He got left. You
know, and even I'm not going to pick on Trent, but I'm going to critique him in regards to
everybody else's.
Well, he nearly set them up. He gave them a head start anyway. Just so lucky that Ali managed to get him wide of the goal. But it's really not good enough, and you can't have this trait of being up for the big games, and then not having that same effort and quality for these sort of games.
But you feel like Stoney was saying, man, you don't want to think they've down tools. You'd think that after the Man United result, you'd look at the table and say to yourself, right, there's a good chance here, lads. We've got a good chance to kick on and make that top 4, salvage something of our season. You think that would be enough to spur them on and say, you know what, let's do this, man. We can go on now, get the top 4, and then we regroup next season and go again. But now, top 4 just looks impossible again, especially when you look at, we've got Man City, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
Those games I'm not worried about. Those games I'm not, because Liverpool have shown this season the bigger games, Premiership games, I should say. All right, we turn up. But
Man City want to get one back over on us.
Yeah,
we've done them. Yeah, Chelsea has all of a sudden found a little bit of a form and a little bit of a rhythm now. They got 3 back-to-back. They look to be pulling all in the same direction. So things are going on there. Obviously, Arsenal are Arsenal right now and fighting for the league. So they're not going to be no easy games, bro.
No, it's true.
Not at all.
They're not going to be no easy games.
No, I didn't say they're not going to be easy.
You'd like to have banked them 3 points already and then got into these ones, Yeah,
they're not going to be easy. But in regards to when I say I'm not worried about that, I know that Liverpool the players will turn up. It's whether we have got the quality at the end of the day to make sure that we finish our chances. But it's these little games, not little games. It's these games against the teams that are in the lower part of the table. We went to Forest, same situation. Went to Forest, early kickoff. Everyone's blaming this early kickoff and dreaded early kickoff. Like you said, Stoney, there's 21, 22 players out there. They've all got to go through the whole shebang, as supporters have got to get up early so when players start saying, oh well, it's an early kickoff and anything, well, just think about the supporters having to get up at the crack of dawn to get to 12:30. So it's very worrying.
James says the dreaded 12:30. I hate 12:30 game. He said Man United used to lose those as well. And earlier, Billy Smith says, please don't blame the time. No, we're not blaming the time. And asking a question, what is it about the 12:30 games? Yeah, we're not blaming that. We're saying, what is it about the 12:30 games and why we're not performing? That's what we're saying.
Damn it, Bill. Billy, I thought I'd covered that post.
Billy goes on to say, no sort of urgency to fight, but in all honesty, I think that it's all been worn down over the years now, with all the fight to push City all the way for the last 3 to 4 years in a row. It was always bound to catch up.
Yeah.
Well, here he goes, Mr. R&B. I can hear the plate of jollof again. I can hear it, bro. He never lets us down.
I gotta eat, man.
Tabriz, don't make you feel away, bro. Come on, man. You got to eat now.
Night, bro. But you should be eating big dinner at 10:30 at night, bro.
Yeah, eat,
boy.
boy.
Look, you see, look.
So I say something more, and then you can have another. It's thoughtful. No, go on then. You're right. So, what's your thoughts, Bruce?
Making her have to swallow that. You went into
Hey, Lee, you have to tell them about the rules when he comes on here, bruv.
Innit? You know, we've had this conversation before, man. Don't worry. Billy says the same with Chelsea. We're dreadful at home, but we're dreadful at home, but we're away. We're good. So they're the opposite of us.
Okay.
Oh, are we talking about
the players need to take accountability for their awful performances.
Are we talking about the Bournemouth game, I guess?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Let me know. A few more minutes left on that before we move on.
Yeah, let me not say anything.
How much longer till the fans start blaming it on Klopp?
This is interesting.
And then Klopp should be gone by next year if he carries on.
I think the only thing I can say, it looked like the players down tooled against Bournemouth. They really did look very disinterested, which is worrying for me.
Very, very worrying. Very worrying. We was trying to say that Stoney was saying he would like to think that it definitely wasn't that. We was wondering, is it Bournemouth had that performance because obviously they're scrapping for their lives and they've shown that they were scrapping against Arsenal and Newcastle as well. But they were scrapping, but them two teams got the result. Arsenal came back from 2 down and still got the result. We couldn't even come back from 1 down.
Sometimes when the luck's with you, it's with you. Miss penalty. Van Dijk had a header, right?
Yeah, it's a header, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine margins. But, you know, with no disrespect to like Bournemouth, we should be beating teams like Bournemouth if we're looking to get into this top 4.
100%.
But honestly, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking.
And Billy says, do you think Salah should have stepped up for the pen? Of course, he's our penalty taker. That goes without saying. And to be fair, he's been pretty good. He hasn't missed that many. When he was stepping up as we got the pen, I'm like, there's nobody else that should be taking it apart from him.
Yeah,
that's his job. He's done it, and he's done a good job of it. To be honest,
yeah, that's true.
This was one of a few that he's missed. To be fair, I would have to say, who would be a contender for manager if Klopp does get the boot?
I'm going to respectfully decline from answering that.
Billy has said Poch and Zidane.
Preds is like me, actually. You know, I'm not saying I'm in a lot of forums, but obviously, you know, we still keep up to date with everything to do with Liverpool. And personally, I reserve the right just to not even comment on that. My focus is about Klopp. He's obviously signed the new contract. He's obviously indicated that he's there to try and create a new team. So for now, personally, I'm just not going to comment on it. I'm just thinking about Klopp. I can't think away from that. That might be me thinking small-minded or what have you, but I'm only thinking about Klopp. I'm not thinking of any other manager coming in.
Don't you think Klopp's message is now getting a bit boring and tedious? We kind of know what he's going to say, and it's now slowly. Well, it's not grating on me, but
do you know what? To Brees, I think my only response to that, and I know it wasn't just directed at me because it's out there, a valid point. Klopp saying the same things now when we were actually winning, and it was refreshing, and it was a delight, and we felt enlightened by it, and we felt, you know, progressed about it. But now he's probably saying the same thing when losing. Some people are being irked about it, and we're probably trying to chip away about his comments. I think what he's done, he's remained consistent. He's always smiled. He's always had the white teeth. He's always been enthusiastic. He's always been critical. I don't think his tune has actually changed at all. I don't know. I don't know.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. Billy's saying Simone, I wouldn't have him nowhere near my club.
Never.
Nowhere near. Demas. Good evening, Demas. How you doing, sir? He says, good evening, gents. Time for Klopp to go and bring in Big Sam. Oh, here we go. They're all out now, isn't it? Oh, they're all having a pop. Jamie Redknapp. Bring in Gerrard.
No chance.
No chance, mate. No chance. Now, like you said, gentlemen, I'm still backing Klopp. I'm not looking at a new manager. I'm in Klopp we trust for now. Yeah, for now.
But like, what if he has a similar season next season?
Oh yeah, well then we got issues.
So
But that depends on obviously what happens recruitment wise. Now, if he gets to bring in players and he's still having this, it's still the same kind of thing. Well, then something obviously is not working.
But then you're right, and I suppose it's what period of time if we're having the same performances and the same outcomes. So those are the things. You're right, I agree. And at some stage we'll have a show where we may well be in the same position and we'll speak about it. But even when we're speaking about player acquisitions and players bringing in, we all clearly know that we need a series of midfielders coming. I can't see us buying any more forward or offensive players. It seems like we have enough to cover that hill there. So it's the midfielders, and I reckon we'll probably buy, probably one or two defenders, whoever they may be, right? So even if devil's advocate, we purchase 5 players, and if we do, 3 of those will have to be starters, they're still going to need a period of time to actually settle in as well.
Bed in.
Yeah. But I do agree with you. I do agree with you, because what month are we? March. If we do purchase those players, it'll be at the end of the season, right? Mm-hmm. So we should purchase them quite early. That means we'll have the summer for pre-season training before we come into the next season. I don't know, and you guys could mention it. I don't think there's any major tournaments this summer, is there?
No.
Is there any tournaments?
No.
Hopefully the players have opportunity to rest and we really get a good pre-season underneath our belts. But yeah.
Well, I mean, what you just said, I mean, I totally agree with. But isn't it concerning? You said the minimum of 5 players. 5 players in one transfer window. That's a lot.
It is.
No, it's just the reality. It's not concern. It's just reality.
And if you think of it, even look
at our season.
Yeah,
that's concerning. We know you identify it. Listen, we've said it before. We'd say ideally, I'd say 3 midfielders, but spending wise, you might get 2, and we need another centre half and a right back. That's 5 players right there.
There you go. And it's important that, as you said, we didn't purchase anybody in this transfer window. So the next transfer window has to be the key. Hopefully the finances there are available.
Apart from Gakpo.
We've got Gakpo.
Sorry, I do apologize. We got Gakpo. More so why this has to be important as well is not only the players that we have to purchase because we're clear in the areas that we need to purchase them, but look at the volume of players that are actually going to be leaving. Whether those players were first team or squad, they still need to be replaced. So that's what I was saying, at least 4 or 5 players need to be purchased of good quality as well.
Yep, 100%.
But then that's all dependent on whether Liverpool reach the top 4.
But even you're right, Preds. But even all right, let's play devil's advocate on here, right? Couple weeks back, we were 9th or 10th position, right? We weren't even in the reckoning for even getting into the Europa, or I don't even think what's that cup underneath, the Conference League or what have you, right? So even if we finish the season 9th or 10th, we're still going to need 5 midfielders anyway. We're still going to need to purchase those players, regardless, because the players are still going to leave anyway, aren't they? Bobby's still leaving, all of the midfielders. So 5 players still need to be purchased. But I do agree with you. If we don't reach the Champions League, will they still be the A targets? Or will we have to then purchase the B or the C? So you do have a valid point here, Preds. You do.
We still need the players because we're getting rid of Ox, we're getting rid of Naby.
Yeah, Milner, Bobby's gone.
Bobby.
I reckon Milner might get
still there, mate.
Trust me, that geezer. Mr. Benjamin Button, you'll probably get another season.
I know, but then
we're definitely getting rid of him. Phillips will be another one.
Curtis has to go as well.
Yeah.
Curtis should go, but
there's no development.
Has to go. Curtis has to go. Curtis has to go.
We're saying that, but we're talking about guaranteed players who we know is going to go, and that's definitely them three. And Firmino's gone.
Yeah,
that's 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so just before we move on to I'm going to throw another one into the mix now. A lot of talk is going around in my social media groups about that we should also sell Jota.
I think it's a hard one with Jota because we obviously purchased him in football terms, right? We purchased him for a good price from Wolves. He's obviously shown that he can play in a series of positions, and it's unfortunate that he's had some reoccurring injuries this season. All right. So when Jota played for us, when we first had him, he come brilliant performance, banging in goals left, right, and centre, headers, playing any 3 positions across the forward line. And I think when he played against Real Madrid, I know the performance wasn't good, but he actually played in midfield as well. So he showed he's playing in those positions. With Jota, we're still going to need a squad. So even if the players that we purchase means that Jota is not, guaranteed to start, I still believe he should remain there as part of the squad. Because let's be honest, right? If next season starts and, the forward line is all firing, then Salah will be in the equation, Gakpo will be in the equation, Nunes will be in the equation, and Luis Diaz will be back as well. So we've got 4. Jota's there, he'll add to the mix. Harvey Elliott can still play the offensive position, and so can Carvalho. I know they're young development players, but there's a lot of players actually there. And, next season we're still going to be in 4 competitions regardless. So I personally think Jota should remain there. What is he like, 26, 25, 26?
Yeah. What it is I have to tell these guys that they need to let go of this knee-jerk reaction because he's just come back off a long injury. Give him time to get back to what he was before. What they're trying to say is if he's not scoring, he offers sweet FA basically. That's what they're saying. I'm like, how long's the guy been back? He's had a few games here and there. He's not finished all the games. He's not fully fit and everything yet.
Yeah,
give the guy a chance. We've seen what he can do. He was one of at one point he was top goal scorer for us. At one point he was popping them in left, right, and centre. Good in the air as well for his little size. You have to give knee-jerk reactions, man.
To be honest, the ball is going to be in Jota's court. I like Wolves. He was like the main man. At Liverpool, he's a squad player.
Yeah.
Yes, he's kind of had his injuries, but we don't know what conversations that he's had with Klopp. It kind of reminds me of the Danny Ings scenario where he was consistently injured, but we needed him, but he didn't want to be there because he felt he needed to kind of kick on his career again. So it could be the same with Jota as well. It's kind of not about us selling him. It could be about Jota saying, you know what, maybe it's time for me to move on.
That's true.
Friends, would you let him go?
No. Jota's not the problem. Jota's not the issue. And I think it's just trolls coming out to chuck seeds of doubt out there and spark some rumours. And it's always good to talk about. But yeah, Jota's going to be part of the Liverpool squad for hopefully at least 3 or 4 seasons. And I think he's definitely going to grow into a better player. It's just where does he play though? Does he play down the centre? Does he play on the left? Does he play on the right? The only thing for me is what's Jota's best position for him to get the best out of him.
Well, that depends on who we got playing on the other two. Who's the other 2 people we playing up top? To be fair, I know they rotate and everything and X, Y, but maybe I'm just trying to get away from the way we used to play with Bobby up there, and Bobby's a totally different player to Jota. So it's just kind of which I'm very interested to see which one of the 3 positions gets the best out of Jota. Okay, thank you very much for that, gentlemen. So Bournemouth, we'll put that one in the bag and we'll move on. Good evening, Vinny. A very loyal supporter, Mr. VW. Nice to have you on board, sir. Okay, so we are going to go to yesterday's performance against Real Madrid. 5-2 down, going to the Bernabeu. And obviously, we know that we've obviously got to go for the game. Did you think that how we looked, let's say first half, that we looked like we was going for that game?
You know what? For the first 10 minutes, it looked like, right, let's give it a go and see what we can get for the first 10 minutes. If we can get an early goal, that's how it came across. Because after Núñez had his early chance, that's when Real Madrid really just kind of took control of the game. We had chances sporadically. But yeah, even if we would have scored first, it's already shown at Anfield that we scored 2 first and they scored 5. I'm always a Liverpool supporter and I want to win every single game, and I really just wanted to win this leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just this leg. And it was just disappointing that the damage was already done at Anfield, really.
Very true. James says Real Madrid now knocked out Liverpool 3 times in a row.
That's fine. I mean, for me, it's interesting. Real Madrid seem to be our nemesis. For me, the fact that we've played Real Madrid 3 times in a row, whether they've beaten us, we've been in the equation. We're a big club. We're in these competitions. There's many teams who have never, ever been in this competition, never, ever played against Real Madrid. So, listen, we were in there. Real Madrid have beaten us. We've won the trophy. I mean, look, what have they? They're serial Champions League winners. Was it the last 8 years they won it 5 times?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, right? That's a solid team, That's a solid team.
That's a solid pedigree, mate.
Solid.
Yeah.
So I think, as Preds was saying, I think, I'm a realist. Love my team. I know we've had some amazing Champions League performances over the years. Was it realistic that we were going to come back and be victorious to get through to the next stages of the Champions League, bearing in mind what the result going into this game? Absolutely not. I think for me, I just wanted a good performance. And as he said, just to have won that game. They were solid. Real Madrid was really, really, really solid. I think Rudiger obviously showed that he was still a top player, the way that he handled Salah in that game. I think it was, what was his name that played left back? I can't remember who was it who played left back for Real Madrid. Is his name Nacho or something like that?
Nacho.
He had a really, really, really good game. I didn't realize that Milito was such a steady defender as well. Camavinga, he just strolled through the game. Strolled through the game.
Yeah, but you know what? Stoli, hold on, sorry, just stick up in there, Stoli. You know what? He did stroll through the game, but the only reason being is because we played 2 in the middle, so he had bags of space.
Right. So that's what I was about to say.
They allowed him bags of space.
Yeah, he strolled through the game in a positive way because we were not able to do anything to him. I mean, look, we did. Where did we start? We had 3 in midfield. Milner started in midfield, didn't he?
If you compare the 3 Jota was playing in the midfield.
Yeah, he did. Jota played in midfield. That's what I was saying.
Jota was playing in midfield. Without the ball, Jota was then dropping back and being in midfield. And then as we was playing going forward, Jota will then go into that number 10 and then Gakpo, Núñez, and then Salah when we were attacking. Yeah. But on the defensive side, we got Jota playing as a number 8.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously we know the class of Modric. We know the class of Cruz, but Camavinga he was just a Rolls Royce yesterday. I know I meant to be speaking about Liverpool, but he was absolutely a Rolls Royce yesterday. He had so much time to play and dictate it and cut out lines. And even though Milito and Rudiger didn't necessarily need that screen, he was actually there in front of them. But Real Madrid just always seemed to be in control in the game, and I think we just weren't able to break them down. And yeah, it was a better performance collectively than we put together against Bournemouth, but it was never ever going to be enough to actually put a chink in our armor against Real Madrid.
But again, I don't like to be ageist because again, sport is for everyone and for any age. But you're looking at Toni Kroos and Modric, probably combined age close to 80, possibly. And again, but again, it just shows the quality that those two players have, and I like also as well the influence that those two players have on Caravinga must be immense. I mean, I can't even imagine how it is at training, and you see that's what's also worrying for like me as a Liverpool fan. The players that we're bringing in, depending if they're young players, who are they gonna learn from? Like who are like the players within like this Liverpool team that like they're gonna, I don't know, be,
you know what,
be inspired.
True.
Oh,
you're true. Like if you think about
wrong, bro, you're so wrong.
That is so true.
Days. A youngster coming in and he's learning from Toni Kroos and think that he comes in, he's got to learn from Henderson and Milner.
No, but like it's the truth.
It is though, isn't it? It is the truth.
It's so true.
We've still got Thiago there, but if you look at it, like, come on, man. When the lineups came up, and I'm like, the first thing I looked at is, look at our midfield to their midfield.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we going for the draw here, or we just want to try and keep the score down or something? That's ridiculous. Just look at the lineups, man. It's just
All right. Saying that, then, all right. What midfield should he have played? You have to remember what's available.
That's all he could have played. We played our best midfield because even if you think of it, right, look at the subs that we actually bought, and let's be honest, right? Look at the subs and the players that have been available. Curtis Jones, Naby Keita. We ended up bringing on Ox, Harvey Elliott would have been there, and Carvalho. Those collectively, if we think of it in our squad, those were the only other midfielders to bring on. I could be wrong.
No, Naby was on there. Naby was on there. Curtis was on there. But I've got to be honest, I'd rather do without them two.
Yeah,
But then the question you have to ask is, would it have been possible to then change shape? With the
I don't think it made a difference against Real Madrid.
Against Real Madrid, yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, they scored. Look, that was a schooling. And when you got, like you're saying, when you got Camavinga going, right, you got Modric and Kroos. Imagine as a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, you're getting Modric saying, bruv, you just sit here. You just sit there, yeah, and let me, Tony, just go and pull some strings, yeah. But don't worry, we got your back, and like, it's
amazing,
it's priceless in my experience.
If there's one team in the whole of Europe that can make a great comeback at the Bernabeu, it is Liverpool. But Jesus Christ, they didn't want to win at all.
I think that was way. That was way beyond us last night.
Yeah, it was
way beyond us. We're not
Vinny
the same team.
Question: have you ever seen an NFC team with this level of Jekyll and Hyde performance before?
I have lots.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen,
this is not a new thing.
I don't want to show my age, but I think I've been supporting Liverpool for a minute, and I tell you, at least this squad shows that even though the Jekyll and Hyde, it shows that at least some games we can win. There's been some Jekyll and Hyde when I've seen teams, and I'm thinking, hold on, wait a minute. Are you really, really, really being serious? I remember some of the players, and I know that there was financial constraints. I remember when Roy Hodgson was in charge of us.
Oh my gosh! Mention that name, bro.
You understand? I mean, like, yeah, there's been some real Jekyll and Hyde players that have played for Liverpool. So that's
I'll tell you, it all started. It all that little thingy sequence there, right? And I'll tell you what, he as a player, he was superb. He was world class, right? But as a manager, Graham Souness, mate.
Yeah, I knew it.
When you're going off buying Julian Dixon, David Speedy, and all, were you
crazy?
And then, what was Tedeschi doing at our club, bro?
Thank you. Nuts. Makes
There
no
he is,
sense.
team without the time management. And what's
They
tea?
must be talking about you,
Omelette.
They're talking about you,
Here we
Bruce.
I
go.
know.
Here we go.
They normally
I
say
think
that
the
about
team
me, mate.
actually thought they had turned a corner after the United game and mentally already had the game won before they actually played it. Yep, we did mention that, Vinny. We did speak about that. Vinny saying Klopp loves an excuse.
Doesn't every manager though? When they're losing.
Bournemouth was definitely on the players, not the manager. And Vinny says that Klopp deserves a chance to create a new team with at least one summer window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's frightening. I was just reading the comment what Billy's put down, and he's written like the midfielders for midfield for Real Madrid, and when you see it written, it's like.
Can I just say, right, but just before we go any further, Sporting have just knocked Arsenal out on penalties, by the way.
Oh, did he get Martinelli missed, didn't he?
Oh, we should have been watching it, really. The Gooners are out, are they? Out of Europe.
Yep. And having to play a nice hard extra time. Lovely jubbly. Excellent. Yeah. We've spoken about this a lot sometimes, but I'm surprised you haven't seen this, man. Are you going to attract superstars without Champions League? Bellingham wouldn't even consider Liverpool now.
But I think, and that's a good question, Billy. You know, one thing to think about in terms of when we're purchasing players, and Tabrice and Preds have articulated this on so many of our previous shows, all right? What makes a superstar? What quantifies a superstar? We've got other clubs who are able to purchase players and they're developed and they become elite players. And I think Preds and Tabrice are able to highlight some of the purchases Brighton have actually made in the last few seasons as well. All right. So even if we're not in a position to purchase, and we're just giving an example, a Jude Bellingham, there must clearly be other elite players of similar ilk out there that will be attracted to play for Liverpool.
100%.
So even if it's not Jude Bellingham, there'll be other good players.
Turned into superstars.
Yeah.
So 100%. 100%. Fully agree. I'll tell you. Vinny goes on to say, no way should Jota be sold yet. He gets another season, in my view. So it looks like we've got Bayern's Ryan Grabovic, very good player, big and robust, 6'3", strong in the tackle, good in the air, and wins a lot of his ground duels.
Where does he play, Nick Ford? What position does he play? Midfield.
Midfield.
And that's midfield, and I've got to be honest, that's a quarter of his quality. Okay. He's a young lad he's a Dutch player. Okay. And yeah, I think he was at Ajax and clubs. This is a thing, like this is the whole thing. He was under the radar. He went to Bayern Munich, kind of under the radar. You know, you had Sadio Mane, you go in there, and you had what's the forward that's gone to Barcelona? Lewandowski. Yeah. He was caught up all of that news, and he kind of just went in there. I don't think it's quite worked out for him, but yeah, he's a big potential, and potentially a big player. So if he does come to Liverpool, I'd be very happy with that purchase.
Nick Ford, can you please do me a favor and confirm where you got this info from, please, man? And tell me how sure it is. Can you say it looks like we've got him already? Yeah, please.
Well, I bought him on my Football Manager game, so you know what I mean. I have to let out my frustration somewhere.
Patience, lad, you can't just go and sell 6 or 7 players unless it's free. I understand the frustration, but you have to realize you can't afford to sell them because you won't sign 6 or 7 players.
I think the thing there, I
need to invite Billy to one of my groups, mate, because right now they'd have sold, and with KV and them lot, they'd have sold the bloody whole group. I think the only person that they're keeping is Allison. And their new philosophy now is what they're talking about is we need to sell these guys now while we can still get money for them because they're tired of losing these players on the free. But I'm like, how do you replace these guys, man? What are you talking about? Come on,
and even with that, you're right. The players that we mentioned earlier, Billy, that were going, It's not that they're being sold, it's just that their contracts are going to be expiring. So that's what we were speaking about, the players going at the end of the season. I think it was 5 or 6 that we highlighted?
Yeah.
And even that, and the other thing that I actually forgot, in addition to all of the players that we mentioned that are going to be going, Thiago's contract expires next year because he'll only have 1 year, and the same with Matip. So it may be that those players end up going at the end of the season as well, which probably then means it's 7 players leaving instead of the 5 on the free.
Yeah, but you've got but they've got to balance the squad in respect of ability, up and coming players, potential players who can do it week in, week out, and then you've got the players who've done all of that and they're relaying their experience. And you've got to kind of, I know people used to say you can't win anything with youngsters. I think a few teams have proved that wrong. But in regards to us, we can't just get rid of all that experience without, bringing in at least some real good quality players coming in with experience.
Definitely. No, I have to. You can't do that all in one window, man. You can't do that. Definitely. Well, there has to be some kind of transition as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this kind of reminds me of Arsenal a decade ago, just literally letting players go on a free. I think we're in a very slippery slope right now. If Matip and Thiago go as well next season.
Very, very true. Billy says he misses Rudiger so much, and Camavinga is man of the match. Bingy, good evening, Bingy. Nice to have you on board, sir. They played like they knew on this form. They ain't turning it around. So let's not get beaten like we did at home. What was your thoughts, gentlemen, on Klopp's substitutions and taking off Darwin Núñez? Who's supposed to be one of our bigger threats, to be fair.
The game, by the time the Núñez had gone off, the game had gone for us, for me. And it's just a case of, right, well, let's keep him fresh for any up-and-coming games.
I hope these guys in the WhatsApp group are listening now, because that's exactly what I said. They were questioning it, and is he gone mad? I don't care. No, never give up. Blah, blah, blah. So what do you want him to do? Play on, keep playing, get knackered or get injured, and we still lose the game?
Yeah.
You've got to look at the longer picture, man. And what's going to really happen for you now is you want to try and fight for that top 4. Yeah. City, Chelsea, Arsenal coming up. You're struggling for players as it is. Play smart.
Yeah.
You went out, you tried something, right? It's not working at the moment. You know what? Let's save these guys. Let these other guys go on and have a run out. Do you know what I mean? And what we lost the game 1-0 in the Bernabeu.
Yeah. I was just a bit bemused by bringing on Carvalho for the last 90 seconds. Like,
that's yeah.
Like,
you know what?
I thought it was 9.
9 seconds. You know what he did get?
Nine seconds. Sorry, 9.
I thought about that before I went to sleep. I just thought, you know what? Klopp did it to give him a match bonus.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that
not even appearance money, isn't it?
Yeah,
appearance money.
Here you go, youngster. Get some appearance fee. You can actually say, you know what? I played against Real Madrid. Yeah, definitely. Yes, Billy, we know, man. Imagine Madrid have Modric, Tuchemani, Cruz, Camavinga, Valverde, and you got Milner and Henderson.
You know what? Modric, Tchouaméni, Cruz, and Camavinga and Valverde, they would have been happy spending some time with Milner and Henderson. I heard that Milner makes a mean Yorkshire cup of tea, so I'm sure they would have had an excellent time with him.
A cup of PG tips.
Yorkshire.
Okay, so Vinny says, I think Bellingham would come. The attraction at LFC is Klopp, whether we like it or not. If Klopp ain't there, we got a whole different level of problem. We ain't ready for as a club at this point. I'd agree with that, Vinny. I'd agree with that, VW. It's 50-50 between the player and the development with the club, though. Could Liverpool bring a random Japanese kid to the Prem? Oh, wait, they have with Minamino, and what happens there?
No need, Billy, no need.
Oh, Jesus.
Billy,
We purchased
Oh,
him.
Billy's
Billy,
husband, man.
remember, you're going to be on it in a couple of weeks now.
It's good.
Yeah, all
Because,
right, yeah.
we made money
All
off
right.
Minamino. And he at Monaco now. We made money off him.
Of course we
So
did. We
just-
made
just
good money off. We made about 10 mil.
Yeah. So that was a good.
Yeah, we got him for about
transaction.
7, and we sold him for 17.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, but then all the hundreds of thousands of fans that he brought from his home nation have all gone with him.
Yeah, true.
To Monaco. So I mean, it was not a PR stunt. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to disrespect him. I mean, he's a fine footballer, but it just seemed a bit of a weird signing. But then again, he done really well against us, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
So, but I'm never a great fan of buying players that have done well against you.
No, well, I mean, he was like our kind of cup guy a couple of seasons ago, and again, it still baffles me why we can sell him but not Curtis Jones. As I'm saying, like I would have rather kept Minamino for me. I'm telling you.
No, I totally agree with you on that one, mate.
Oh, I like that question, Billy. Do you know it's strange? I was thinking about this in a week. I was having a conversation with, and this is just for nostalgic reasons. Very, very, very strange for nostalgic reasons. So, Billy, I know this might, and his question. Oh, I know this might not help, but a serious question. Hypothetical. What is one ex-Liverpool player you would bring back? Obviously in their prime, not right now, right? Imagine that.
Kenny, bring your Kenny. Put him in there. Put him there.
Do you know what? The two players that I really, really, really enjoyed. One is probably not going to be on you guys' lips, but I'm still going to mention it anyway, right? Mine would be Kevin Keegan or Yari Lipneman. I remember when we bought Yari Lipneman, I used to absolutely love this player playing for us, Love it.
I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, Billy, it will be Kevin Keegan or Yari Lipneman.
Okay.
That would be mine.
Mine, hands down, would be Steve McManaman.
Stevie Mac.
Okay. Yeah, man, like the dribbling ability, left foot, right foot. He would, he was like, I'd say what like you'd call like the modern day Kaka. He was, again, just kind of take the ball from the. I still remember the goal against Celtic in the UEFA Cup where he took it from his own half and he just dribbled. And I'm like, listen, I'm not having him in our team right now.
I'll tell you what, mate. How long have you got?
There's too many.
First and foremost, right back, Phil Neal. Right, I'll stick Steve McMahon back in the midfield in there.
Please.
You know what I mean? You got Johnson, the old Aussie.
Craig Johnson,
Craig Johnson. Steve McManaman. Mate, there's a plethora of former football players in their prime. I would love to have that.
There's quite a few I'd love to.
There's too many, mate. There's too many. Johnny Barnes.
JB, 100%. JB.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard. Jan Molby was one of my favourites as well.
Oh, Jan, I can spray a ball.
Thank you very much.
I can spray a ball.
Thank you very much. I can't run. I'll tell you what, I can ping a flipping football, mate.
What you could do with football, you don't need to run, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely, 100%.
Yeah, but Javi Alonso could have done,
I was going there as well. I was going there as well. There's too many.
Too
many.
We've had too many quality players, man. Too many to mention. Definitely. Okay. Liverpool's biggest challenge for the remainder of the season is the mental aspect of their approach to each game. Team credibility fear factor was lost after Bournemouth defeat. Yes, VW. Definitely. 100%. Oh, look at that. Vinny agreed, and the first two I said he was on it. Barnes and Gerrard.
Just going back to Vinny's question, I think that's a brilliant statement to make because it is a mental thing now. It's mentally like you've got these players, they're fit. Some of them are fit, But it is a mental thing. It's like, and it is when you go out and play a game, right, and you haven't been playing well, and then you play well for a couple of games, the confidence is still quite brittle, and it's like a minute thing, second, that can either help you build that confidence or to shatter that confidence. And I think Liverpool's mental state at the moment is very concerning.
Very true. Zabi Alonso says Bingy. Billy agrees Moby was different. Billy goes back to say, I didn't mean disrespect, we've mentioned him in the now, but it was highlight the difference of development between Brighton and Liverpool. So he's basically saying about when he mentioned about the players, he's saying about, and we mentioned Brighton, and he's saying, but their development's a joke.
But it's not so much Brighton's. But it's not so much Brighton's development. They're not coming through the ranks. They're going out. Yeah, the scouting. They're scouting. They're going out and they're getting and they're picking up these players that big clubs are looking at them saying they're potential, but it's like Brighton are going there and saying, well, you know what? If you're different, we're going to take them.
Thank you. It's so true.
Would you not have preferred to have beaten Man United 3-0 and save 4 of them goals for Bournemouth Real Madrid?
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. The Madrid game is already gone.
I heard someone mention that on TalkSport and they said, hell no, 7-0 against Man United.
Keep it at 7.
7-0 against Man United. Well, you got to look at it in the bigger picture, mate. I would have saved some of them goals, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. I didn't care if we beat Man United 1-0. Still 3 points.
Yeah, but you know what, mate? I know what you're saying, and I totally agree with you, but nothing in the world is going to take away the memory.
Nice, Jay.
Sitting there and watching us put 7 past United.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Poetry in motion it was.
Imagine VVD and Carragher together. Flipping heck. That might end in fisticuffs.
I was just about to say that.
I'm telling you. 2-0 is worse than 7-0 in your opinion.
Oh, dear.
I don't know about that. Oh, gentlemen. Right, so we'll move on quickly, gentlemen. Stefan Basovic has confirmed on social media that he will miss the remainder of the season after suffering an abductor injury.
Yeah. This gets worse, isn't it?
And what it is, I feel it for the youngster though, man. Just broken through in me, making waves, and bam, look at that, season's over.
But that's the trials and tribulations of being a footballer, and he's had a taste, and hopefully that taste, that hunger when he's out grows and grows and grows, and then when he comes back, he can then continue where he left off and continue to grow. Because as much as we have been saying about Liverpool up and down season, he's been a real find for us this season, and one of the few positive things that's come out of this season. Yeah,
100%. All right, so gentlemen, just quickly go through what they gave them at the Bernabeu. So Alisson Becker got a 9, and just let me know afterwards if you disagree with any of them scores. So Becker got a 9, Trent got a 6, Konate got an 8, Van Dijk got a 6, Robertson got 7, Fabinho got a 6, Milner got a 6, Salah got a 6, Gakpo got a 6, Nunez got a 7, and Jota got a 5.
How much did Trent get?
6.
In parts, well, one part he defended really well when he came from behind, when he covered round VVD, but the goal. If any young player was watching and see Vinny's anticipation and movement, and to see as a forward, and for a defender as a right back, that would be something to show them how not to defend. Because how can you go to the Bernabeu and turn your back on on Vinicius Junior on the 18-yard line? How can you do that? And remember, we're telling about Trent. He's played so many games for a club, country. He's won trophies. So for a relatively young lad, he's really experienced, especially in big games. And that's just criminal defending, mate. Absolutely criminal defending.
Terrible.
Oh,
Really says none of your back five should be above a 7, maybe an 8 for Allison for some good saves. But 9 is a near perfect match, and he conceded 1. But that 1 wasn't his fault.
Ali got a 10, mate, because I don't know how he saved that one from
That's true.
Vinicius.
Yeah.
I agree with that 9. I agree with the 9. But because that goal, we know he conceded 1, but that wasn't his fault.
No,
That
it wasn't his fault.
Konate just stood there watching.
Yeah.
He's supposed to track Benzema. You could see him just watching VVD and Vinicius Jr.
Ball
and
watching.
Benzema's just strolling into our 6-yard box like
Ball
thank
watching.
you. Yeah, just
And you
ball
know
watching.
what? And that 5-second period, all right, where he was ball watching, actually kind of, it didn't ruin his game, but he did have a decent game up until that point. He was there holding Trent's hand. Trent couldn't deal with Vinny.
Yeah.
You know, if you see how we defended, Trent actually went beyond Vinny, and then Konate covered round, and then Fabinho then dropped in as a makeshift centre half. So the plan is that Trent obviously can't deal with Vinny, so Konate went and
but
dealt with him
he covered him. That's what he even says here. Covered Trent Alexander whenever he could.
all night,
Definitely.
all night, and that takes another midfielder out of the midfield back into the back four, which then creates. You got Kroos and Modric. You can't give them that much space.
No.
So moving on to talk about this Trent. We will ask the question afterwards what you lot think about this Carragher comments. So Vinicius Jr. said that his easiest opponent is Trent and his hardest is Reece James.
That's my opinion.
Have you heard what Carragher was saying basically?
That he's got to sort out his defending. He's got to, this is a pivotal time where
Not even just sort it out. He's saying that we need to get another right back and find another place for him in the team.
I don't know who mentioned it back in the day about playing my man in midfield. I don't know who mentioned it.
We've spoken about it a few times.
I'm telling you, he's going to end up somewhere. But if that was going to give any Klopp any indication that he needed the right back, that was it last night.
But the thing is, we bought one and he's injured.
Yeah, but he needs to get a right back who can go in like Tsimikas, but it's taken a few years for Tsimikas to actually be able to then come into the team and then perform quite well in the team. Like you need to get a world class right back.
But there's no world class right back that's going to come and just sit on the bench and literally rotate with Trent. It's
what they're saying. What the Carragher's comments were that like Trent needs to be moved out of that position, and we need to get a right back. And Trent needs to be moved out of that position.
No, I mean, I think we've all spoken about Trent, and again, it's very easy to kind of talk about Trent because let's be honest, Van Dijk has not had the best season, as you know. But I mean, I think again, domestically, Trent's won everything. If like he was going to retire now, he would be one of those players that people would probably forget about, but think, oh yeah, he's actually won everything domestically. So why should we move him out now after a bad season? And who we're going to replace him with? And does he actually want to play centre mid? Honestly, I know I've kind of had a go at Trent, but like Vinny, for me, is probably the best player in the world right now. Or apart from
in his position,
in his position, like you can't judge Trent against him. You have to judge him probably next season.
Why not? You're at the top.
If you want to play at the top, you have to deal with the best players.
You're facing the best. You know what I mean? That's who you need to judge him against.
Yeah, but as a team, we haven't been everyone knows that we've not been playing well. And against Real Madrid, in terms of what I saw, it looked dull. I mean, like it looked stale. So it's you are gonna have like a couple of good games, and as like everyone said, there's going to be games where you're going to need a bit of help. And against Real Madrid, Trent needed a bit of help, which is absolutely fine.
So, have you ever seen a club who are regularly challenging for trophies have as much injuries in a squad as us and all at the same time? I don't think I've ever seen it before, says Billy.
No, we've had a ridiculous amount of injuries, but that's where a squad comes into it. And every club has injuries. Maybe we've had more than most clubs. But then this goes back to what I've said previously, that we should have started bringing in newer, younger players when we was doing well. And then you would have that time for them to bed it in. And when you get to periods like this, that's when these players should then shine. Players like Naby Keita should be coming and shining. Absolutely dud. Curtis Jones, dud. Alex, like for me, why are you putting on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain last night?
No.
Like, you know, and then you give Carvalho 9 seconds. Who's the future here? Carvalho or Ox?
You know,
give Carvalho that time to go in there.
Yeah,
the game was already done. The game had already gone from us. So
Billy says Dumfries in, Trent in midfield with Thiago and Bajcetic. That's a nice midfield.
Dumfries, I wouldn't mind him right there.
How Trent Alexander recovers from this season will be interesting, though. He has had a nightmare of a season playing wise, and confidence at the club and international level has been shredded. He's been left out of the international squad. I'm not fussed about. Jose Enrique, he says on live stream on Going Back to LFC, this player's grandback is ours. We share the same agent as well as Bobby. We had a meeting not so long ago in London. This is our player. Well, you heard it here. If it's true, you heard it here first, people.
Yeah.
Remember, on KopTalk. Breaking news. Listen, all we need is a little bar scrolling along the bottom now.
And the big breaking news.
You heard it here first, mate. Gravenberch is ours. That's Jose Enrique on his live stream. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, I'll have some of that. As long as it doesn't stop there, I'll have some of that, mate. Bring him in. Billy made a good comment as well. Where was it? I hope I didn't miss it. Here's the one I was looking for. Oh. Yes, here we go. This is the one. Don't start, T, he says. He hasn't had Henderson covering for him. He hasn't had Mane's high pressing, so they can't catch him out of position. Trent has constantly had help by others.
Which is absolutely fine because we had a system that worked.
That's part of what in the game, isn't it? You players are covering each other.
Exactly. It's very easy for Jamie Carragher sitting on his ivory tower, saying whatever he's got to say. Honestly, it's we have to give Trent a break. Yes, internationally he's been ripped to shreds. And like the media, Liverpool fans, Liverpool fans use him as the scapegoat. Come on now. How many times has Trent got us out of trouble?
True.
Yeah, I get that. But in the fact of he's playing elite football, he's playing at the highest level, and when you're playing at the highest level, yes, it's easy for us to sit down here and look at him. He has done really well, and I've backed him when he's done really well, and I've also been quite consistent in when he hasn't done so well. I've mentioned it, but he's not the only football player in the world, in the history of football, who's had bad periods and had to get through this bad. It's a bad period, and what I'm going to worry about is his mental health.
Yeah, of course.
100%.
His mental health. This could easily, go left, and his mental health suffers, and then all of a sudden now he's, we're worried for it, his well-being. So really, I hope he's got good people around him who's going to be helping him, and who's going to be advising him. But as a footballer, you have to have that second skin. You have to have that tough skin, because not everyone's going to like you.
Well, I mean, I'd like, but I definitely agree. We need another right back just to kind of create that competition. We definitely do.
Absolutely.
So hold on, gentlemen. What is Calvin Ramsey then? Is he not a right back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is. He is.
Calvin Ramsey's not at the level where he's going to be
Nowhere.
competing with Trent
No.
for
Okay,
shirt
so
on a
what does it say to Calvin Ramsey then if Klopp now goes out and purchases another right back?
I think Calvin Ramsey is. I still think he's more of a development player. So I think in terms of his development, I don't even think he's not at Harvey Elliott's level really. But he's probably just above. Personally, I think he's just above Reece Williams' level in terms of a development player at the moment. He's still breaking down with injuries at the moment, so I don't think we're going to see the best of him until a couple seasons really.
But it's competition though. Like we're Liverpool Football Club, by the way. We should be having players in each position who are competition. That then creates that competitiveness and that hunger to be winning because you want to win. You want to be in the shirt. You don't want to be sitting in the stands or on the bench because you know that you've got a quality player. If you don't play well, you know you've got a quality player that's going to come in. He hasn't got that. Not many of the players got that at Liverpool Football Club.
You got that anywhere.
Anywhere.
I've got that anywhere. Oh, gentlemen. Okay. We are gonna have to call it a night, gentlemen. So how we looking for? I think it's April the 1st.
Yeah, Man City, ain't it?
Man City.
I'm going to be slightly controversial here. I want us to lose that game.
I knew he was going to say that because you want them to win the league.
That game. To Breeze.
He wants them to win the league.
I want City to win the league.
Okay.
I can't stand Arsenal winning it. I'm sorry. that can't happen. That cannot happen.
Do you know that result may well just be out of your hands anyway? Because guess what? At the beginning of the show, we were speaking about Liverpool's performances, early morning kickoffs. That's a 12:30 kickoff away at the Etihad.
Okay. All right.
I'm just putting it out with the conversation that we had at the beginning of the show.
You may get your wish, mate.
Listen, I think that this says everything, really.
I mean, of course, if Liverpool score like a last minute goal, of course, like I'll cheer, but just like how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
I don't want them to win the league, but you know what? I still want to win every game.
Absolutely.
And if we lose, then that's just another stab for us at top 4, man.
No, but I think we can afford to lose
that game.
That game, and still finish top 4.
Yeah. I can feel the distaste about Arsenal there, boy. But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I understand.
We've still got a lot of games, but we've still got a lot of games. There's so much games to be played, and I think there's going to be a few curveballs in the this part of the season.
It's true. Yeah, VW, you're right, man. Their supporters are unbearable winners, man.
Yeah.
Breezy can't have Arsenal winning the league either. Yeah, and Billy says, Arsenal can't even beat Sporting. Yeah, listen, it's true, man. They are giving it large at the moment, and they haven't won nothing yet. They are giving it large, but I just don't want my team to get beat. That's the only problem. But so how do you see the City game going, Preds?
I know.
You know what it sounds like? You know when you get in trouble by your parents because you've been out late and you're just trying to find an answer.
And you're just looking up at the sky.
I think I might just do it to Bruce. Listen, I'm a Liverpool supporter to the heart, mate. I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. So yeah, let's go for a Liverpool win.
Okay.
No, but do you believe that though? Do you actually believe that?
In Klopp, I believe. So I believe.
Demas, are you still here? Are you hearing what them boys are saying about your team, bro? They want us to lose to Man City just so you don't win the league, bro.
But you know what? Listen, even if there's an indifferent result against Man City, the Chelsea game's been rescheduled in it. So we got Arsenal after that. So Dimas may want to come on the show, you know.
Yeah, we can bring Macro on, man. We can bring him in. Yo, Billy, calm yourself down, mate. Biggest club in London after Arsenal, Brentford, Fulham. Yeah.
It's
Tottenham's
true.
above you as well at the moment.
Leighton Orient.
So, yeah.
Come on, you O's. Come on, you O's.
Yeah.
AFC Wimbledon.
Chill out, bro. Chill out. All right. Billy then says he reckons 4-1 City, Haaland hat-trick, Mahrez with 1, and Salah with 1 late on.
Wow.
If Merseyside is blue. Yeah. They're fighting relegation, man. I'm not worried about them, bro. We don't worry about them no more. We class the bigger clubs as our competition and our derbies. You know what I mean? We don't worry about them no more.
Their class is that other club across the road.
That's the one. That's the one. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. But it just wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool go down and get a result, man. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I don't know. Jurgen seems to have something he likes playing against Pep, man. He does. Yeah. He likes that heightened competition with him. He likes it. And he seems to be able to dig out results. So let's see, man. Let's see. But Maka, how you feeling, man? Getting knocked out by Sporting? I noticed you was quiet. You was quiet for a while. You know what I mean? And now you've popped back up again. Yeah. Did you watch the match, mate?
No, he's finished watching it to watch us, isn't he?
Yeah. If we beat City, that would just sum up our City. Yeah, too right, man. Yeah. That's what I mean. It would.
Yeah.
It would. But it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So yeah. But
I got one thing. Stoney, have you been watching OnlyFans again?
Oh
no, I haven't. Go on. What's going on here now?
No, because there was a Bournemouth player. There was a Bournemouth player that you was talking about. What's his name?
Rodwell.
Yeah.
And
how you?
Rothwell.
And how you could have pronounced dictate was a little bit funny.
Hold on, what's going on here? Hold on a minute. This guy. What is going on here? Hold on a minute.
If you watch it back, how you pronounce that?
It may have been my feed. I'm on dial-up. You guys coming in making trouble, you know.
But you really separated those syllables, though.
He's eating. Oh, we say Dimas, we say Black Ramsdale. What?
You know, everyone's gonna when we finish, everyone's gonna be like, rewind. What did he say?
Hold on a minute, Dimas. Did Ramsdale just get an award? Huh? Did he just get an award? Terrible. Right, peoples, do remember, Cop Talk each and every Thursday night, 10 o'clock sharp on the nose, mate. Like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. It's all about our sponsors, Global Mapping Surveys, www.globalmappingsurveys.co.uk. Mention Cop Talk and you'll get a discount. So my peoples, we will be back, just as Arnie said. And that's my team as well, not just us four here, my team as well. We will be back. Gonna go and play them blue boys down in Manchester and see what we can do, man. See what we can do. Have them, lads, have them. So, Mr. R&B.
I'm not too sure why my screen's blurry. I'm not too sure. Yeah. Apologies.
It's because you tried to badmind Stoney. That's why.
That's what I just put my little chicken bone and lemon spice on things at your feed.
You get me? Work a little thing, mate. Trust me. Preds, my brother.
Come on, we'll never walk alone.
That's right. You tell him, mate. You tell him. Stoney,
So be safe. It was brilliant. Thanks everybody for
Yes,
tuning
as
in,
per
and see
usual.
everybody next week Thursday.
Lovely.
Win, lose or draw, we're here.
We're here, man. We're here. Rain or shine. We're here.